The blood arena floated in deep space like a wound that never healed. Built long before most species learned how to travel between stars, and it existed for one reason only, to turn death into entertainment. Because across the galaxy there were many races who believed power was proven only by blood, and on this day the stands were full, filled with creatures of every shape and size, watching with hungry eyes as the arena lights came alive and the massive central platform rose into view, its surface scarred by centuries of battles where champions screamed and died. And the announcer drone hovered above it, its metal voice echoing across space as it welcomed viewers from thousands of worlds and announced a new challenger from a newly contacted death world called Earth, which caused laughter to spread through the crowd because Earth was known as dangerous only in theory. A planet with heavy gravity and violent storms, but still young and untested. And when the announcer declared the champion of Earth as Commander Mara Vale, the platform opened and a single human stepped forward. Small compared to the monsters the crowd was used to seeing, wearing no shining armor or massive weapons, only a dark combat suit and calm eyes that scanned the arena without fear. And the audience reacted with disappointment, mocking her size and her species, already expecting a fast and bloody end. Because across from her another gate opened and Kragath the Worldbreaker entered the arena. A towering beast covered in thick natural armor with 4 massive arms ending in bone blades. A living weapon who had crushed armies and killed champions from many worlds. And his arrival sent waves of excitement through the crowd as he roared and slammed his fists together, shaking the arena floor while Mara stood still and breathed slowly, listening to her suit's quiet systems as it calculated her chances of survival and told her they were almost none, which made her smile slightly because she understood something the crowd did not, that humans did not rely on size or strength alone. And when the signal sounded and the fight began, Kragath charged forward like an avalanche, swinging one massive arm meant to end the battle in a single blow. But Mara did not panic or run. Instead, she moved forward at the last moment, sliding beneath the attack with speed the crowd did not expect, planting a small device on Kragath's leg that looked harmless enough to make the audience laugh, until it activated and forced crushing gravity into one point, slamming Kragath's leg into the floor with unbearable force and stopping him mid-charge. And before the crowd could react, Mara was already climbing him, using his massive body as terrain, her movements fast and precise as her suit guided her blade to weak points and nerve clusters, slicing where armor could not protect, turning the giant's own strength against him, while Kragath roared and swung wildly, smashing the arena floor and walls but failing to hit her even once, because humans from Earth had learned to survive on a world that tried to kill them every day, where speed, balance, and clever thinking mattered more than brute force. And step by step Mara reached his neck as the crowd fell silent, watching in disbelief as the smallest champion in the arena's history stood above one of its greatest killers. And she paused for a single moment, not to show mercy but to let the galaxy see clearly what was happening, before driving her blade into the final weak point and ending the fight. And Kragath the Worldbreaker collapsed lifeless onto the arena floor, shaking it one last time, while the announcer drone struggled to process what it had just witnessed and finally declared the champion defeated, leaving the blood arena silent for the first time in its long and brutal history. Because what the crowd had wanted was blood and an easy death, but what they had seen instead was something far more frightening. A reminder that humans were not dangerous because they were strong or large, but because they learned, adapted, and refused to surrender. And as Mara stood alone on the blood-stained platform under the cold lights of the arena, the galaxy began to understand that Earth was not just another death world, it was a warning. And this single victory was not an ending but the opening strike of something much larger, something that would soon force the stars themselves to remember why humanity should never be underestimated. The arena had gone silent for a moment, an uneasy calm before the storm, as the humans and aliens both paused, sizing each other up. The humans were outnumbered, vastly outgunned, and yet there was a strange confidence in their eyes, a stubborn spark that made even the bravest alien warriors hesitate. Mara, the human leader, felt her heart pounding, but not from fear. It was anticipation, a readiness to meet the challenge head-on. She had studied every alien species' tactics, learned their weaknesses, and trained her team relentlessly for this very moment. The first wave of alien attackers charged, strange appendages flailing, energy blades slicing through the air with deadly precision. Mara and her squad moved like a single organism, each action perfectly timed, each shot fired with calm precision, picking off enemies with a mix of clever traps, improvised weapons, and raw physical skill. The aliens had expected a quick, messy fight, a show of human blood spilling for their amusement, but instead they met resistance that was precise, adaptable, and terrifyingly fast. Explosions rocked the arena as the human team used their surroundings collapsed. Columns, jagged rock formations, even the arena's automated defenses to their advantage, turning every hazard into a weapon against their opponents. Mara's mind raced, constantly calculating angles, anticipating enemy movements, calling out commands in rapid clipped phrases that her team executed without hesitation. One alien commander, a massive creature with armor like black crystal, tried to flank them, but Mara had already laid a trap, leading it into a pit of energy nets that immobilized its limbs and left it screaming as the humans advanced. Amid the chaos, humans showed a strange blend of creativity and brutality. They didn't just fight, they adapted in real time, using whatever tools or opportunities they could find to survive and dominate. Meanwhile, in the stands, the alien spectators began to murmur in disbelief, their confidence slowly eroding as they realized that humans were not just surviving, they were dictating the pace of the battle, forcing aliens to react instead of attack. Mara felt the weight of her team's lives on her shoulders, but she didn't let fear rule her. Every decision was deliberate, every risk calculated. She noticed the aliens were starting to coordinate, forming formations and using advanced tactics. But humans thrived in chaos, using improvisation, intuition, and raw courage to turn the tables. At one point, a massive alien war machine rolled into the arena, its weapons spitting fire and energy, designed to crush anything in its path. Mara smiled grimly, signaling her team to split and lure it into a trap. They used the arena's unstable flooring, forcing the machine over a weakened section that collapsed beneath it, sending it tumbling into a pit of molten energy, immobilized and sparking violently. The alien spectators gasped, realizing that these humans could not be underestimated. Mara herself faced a direct challenge when the alien leader, a towering figure with 4 arms and glowing eyes, stepped into the open, roaring a challenge and swinging massive blades. Mara dodged with astonishing speed, rolling, diving, and using momentum to close the distance. In a flurry of precise strikes, she disarmed one of its arms, flipped over it, and landed blows that staggered the beast. Her team engaged the remaining forces, using clever ambushes, coordinated strikes, and sheer bravery to keep the aliens off balance. What made the humans truly frightening, however, was their ingenuity under pressure. They used alien technology against them, hacked defense systems mid-battle, and improvised explosives from arena debris. Every alien attack that was meant to intimidate or overpower them only fed into human creativity, turning the battlefield into a constantly shifting maze where humans always seemed one step ahead. Tension soared as casualties mounted on both sides, but the humans remained unbroken. Mara's voice cut through the din of combat, rallying her team, reminding them that they were not just fighting for survival, they were representing Earth, a planet the galaxy had long dismissed as primitive. Their determination inspired awe even in the hearts of their enemies. As the fight escalated, a massive alien ship hovered above the arena, ready to unleash orbital strikes that could wipe out the remaining humans in seconds. Mara, noticing the countdown on the ship's targeting system, devised a bold plan. She would infiltrate the ship with a small strike team, disable the weapons, and turn the tide. Her team hesitated for only a heartbeat before nodding. Trust in each other ran deep. They sprinted toward a hidden access hatch revealed in a previous reconnaissance, dodging fire, leaping over energy blasts, and using the arena's complex structures to cover their advance. The aliens, now fully aware of human cunning and ferocity, scrambled to respond, but every countermeasure was anticipated or cleverly sidestepped. Mara led the charge onto the ship, moving with uncanny precision through corridors filled with hostile alien forces. Her team disabled shields, rerouted power, and set traps that slowed enemy reinforcements. Explosions echoed as the alien ship began to falter under the human assault. Inside the arena, the remaining humans on the ground kept the alien forces occupied, using guerrilla tactics to buy their teammates time. The humans demonstrated a blend of fearlessness, adaptability, and unrelenting willpower that no alien had ever faced. By the time Mara reached the command center, she and her team were battered but unbowed. With a final surge of coordinated effort, they disabled the ship's weapons, sending it plummeting harmlessly into the arena floor in a controlled crash that stunned everyone watching. Silence fell over the battlefield, broken only by the cheers of a few awed aliens who had begun to realize that Earth's children were forces of nature unto themselves. Part 2 ended not with victory yet, but with a powerful message. Humans, when pushed to the edge, could defy impossible odds, turn desperation into strategy, and become a force that the galaxy would have to remember and respect. The aliens' arrogance had been shattered, replaced by a dawning fear and admiration as the humans stood tall amid smoke, rubble, and the eerie glow of defeated machines, their eyes burning with unshakable resolve and pride in their heritage. A reminder that Earth, though long underestimated, would not bow or break. The final confrontation began under a sky torn by fire and smoke. The arena, a shattered battlefield littered with the wreckage of alien war machines and fallen combatants, a grim testament to the ferocity of the humans' resistance. Mara and her team, bruised and bloody but unbroken, stood at the center, their eyes scanning the horizon for the next threat, knowing that the alien leaders would not yield easily. From the shadows, the ultimate opponent emerged, a colossal alien general, towering like a living fortress, its armor glinting with deadly energy. Weapons bristling on every limb, and an aura of pure menace that made even seasoned alien soldiers hesitate. It had come not merely to fight, but to annihilate, to wipe out humanity in front of the entire galaxy, sending a clear message that no species could dare challenge their dominion. Mara's heart raced, but she did not falter. She knew that this was the moment where ingenuity, courage, and the unbreakable human spirit would have to surpass raw strength. With a signal, her squad split, darting among the ruined columns and scorched terrain, luring the alien general into a trap they had painstakingly devised while under fire. Explosions shook the ground as the alien general lashed out with devastating force, tearing through structures and hurling enemies aside with its massive arms. Yet the humans moved with uncanny speed, dodging attacks that would have shattered any other species. Mara, using a combination of parkour-like agility and precise timing, leapt onto a broken wall, narrowly avoiding a sweeping strike that could have killed her instantly. and fired a pulse weapon she had modified from alien tech to temporarily overload the creature's energy shields. Sparks flew as the general roared in rage, lashing out blindly, while humans on the ground hacked automated turrets and debris into improvised weapons, creating a chaotic battlefield where the alien's size and strength became a disadvantage rather than an advantage. Mara's mind raced as she coordinated her team through verbal cues and hand signals, directing precise strikes, diversions, and traps, forcing the alien to constantly adapt to their unpredictable attacks. A moment came when the alien general charged directly at Mara, its eyes glowing like molten metal, and the arena seemed to freeze for a heartbeat. She rolled under its legs, grabbed a cable of electrified energy from the wreckage, and slung it around the alien's leg, tripping it into a molten pit they had prepared earlier. But the general was not finished. It tore free with terrifying speed, its roar echoing across the arena, shaking the very ground beneath them. Humans and aliens alike froze for an instant, realizing that this was a fight that could determine the future perception of humanity across the stars. Mara, feeling the weight of responsibility for her planet and her team, leapt onto the alien's back, dodging slashes from its energy blades, and jammed a pulse grenade into the control core embedded in its armor, causing sparks, smoke, and a blinding flash that sent the creature reeling. She tumbled to the ground, exhausted but alive, and her team moved in for the final coordinated strike, a mixture of ingenuity, brute force, and relentless determination. One teammate used a magnetic grappling device to immobilize the alien's massive arms. Another fired a high-energy cannon at a weak spot Mara had discovered, while Mara herself directed a focused pulse that overloaded its systems. With a final, shuddering roar, the alien general collapsed, defeated, its enormous body hitting the arena floor with a thunderous impact that sent shockwaves across the battlefield. Silence fell momentarily, broken only by the distant cries of those who had survived the chaos. The remaining alien forces hesitated, stunned by the humans' audacity, courage, and brilliance, realizing that this was not mere luck or brute strength, but a species that had honed adaptability, ingenuity, and teamwork into something terrifyingly effective. Mara stood, breathing heavily, surveying the battlefield where humans and aliens alike had been tested to their limits. She knew the victory was more than physical, it was a statement. Earth's children had shown that they would not bow, that they could take on impossible odds and emerge victorious. Not through alien technology or superior numbers, but through resilience, strategy, and a burning will to survive and protect their own. The alien spectators, who had come expecting a spectacle of human blood, were now witnesses to something far more profound, a reminder that Earth, long dismissed as primitive, was home to beings whose courage and intelligence could shape the galaxy's future. As the dust settled, Mara addressed her team, her voice steady despite exhaustion, reminding them that the battle was over, but the message would echo across the stars. Humanity could not be underestimated. The humans helped the injured, repaired critical systems, and salvaged alien technology to ensure they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Among the ruins, there were moments of quiet reflection, teammates embracing after surviving near-impossible attacks, humans helping wounded aliens, and Mara silently acknowledging the sacrifices made by her team and the sheer willpower that had carried them through. It was a victory not just of arms, but of spirit, a demonstration that the human race's ingenuity, courage, and unyielding determination could overcome overwhelming odds, inspire awe, and instill fear in the hearts of those who thought themselves superior. As the arena emptied and the alien spectators left, shaken and whispering tales of the humans who had defied their expectations, Mara looked up at the stars, knowing that Earth's children had made an indelible mark on the galaxy that day. Their legacy would be remembered not only as warriors but as a species whose heart, mind, and spirit could stand against any threat. In the end, humans had not only survived, they had triumphed in a way that reminded the galaxy why Earth was feared, respected, and above all, never to be underestimated. And as Mara and her team walked through the wreckage, battered but undefeated, they knew that the real fight, the fight to defend their home and prove their worth, was far from over, but that they had already shown that humanity's courage and ingenuity were forces even the stars could not ignore.